Hey Mac,
What's up, G?
do you know what happens when you start early?
I do, G. You go wealthy.
It's time for Money with Mac and G.
Finance for you and your family.
Hey G, I went online to try to figure out why Dad doesn't like $10 bills. Because we both know he loves money.
Love.
What'd you find out? It can't be the number because he loves ones and zeros. Plus, he loves the color green.
All true, but I think I found something interesting. I was wondering if it had something to do with the guy on the $10 bill.
That's a great idea. Who is it? Lincoln? Franklin? Who?
First off, you should know that Lincoln is on the 5, because Dad gave us 2 last time.
Okay, so who?
It's not Franklin, because Benjamin Franklin is on the 100, and Dad loves when he can talk about the Benjamins.
Okay, so you knocked those off, and George Washington is on the $1 bill, right?
That's right. So, the $10 bill has Alexander Hamilton on it.
Isn't that the guy in the awesome musical we've heard about? I thought Dad loves musicals.
He does. So, I'm having a little bit of trouble figuring it out. I think we should just ask him to share his secret.
10.
10. 10, 10, 10, Dad!
Oh, I can do it. Keep going. Breathe. Hey, what do you guys want? I'm a little busy here.
What are you doing with a huge backpack on?
That's huge.
You have a sleeping bag, food, shoes. What's up?
Are you going somewhere?
Which way do I go?
I gotta keep on the move. Gotta keep my heart rate up. You guys can follow, but I need to go down the steps and then up, and I need to increase my stamina.
For what? Why did you step up on the bed and back down? Mom just made that bed.
I'm training, and don't tell Mom about the bed. Shh.
What are you training for? Are you going on a hiking or camping or something?
No, I'm training to climb Mount Olympus.
I am Zeus.
Awesome. That is so cool. Isn't that where the Olympic flame came from?
No, the Olympic flame was from Olympia. It is confusing, but Mount Olympus and Olympia are different places, and they're hundreds of miles away from each other in Greece.
Holy cow, Dad, that's awesome! Isn't that where the Greek gods are from? I've always liked Poseidon the best. He rules the waters and swims with the fishes. Cool, right?
Knowing you, you're going to feel the presence of Zeus, the father of Greek gods, for a little bonding time, right?
That would be awesome, and I appreciate your support, really I do.
Sounds like there's a butt in there somewhere.
What did we miss?
Even though I love Greece and the Greek gods, I'm going to Mount Olympus, Utah.
You mean in the United States?
Yep.
Utah?
Yep. Okay, I should probably take a break.
So, why Utah?
Well, it's about 9,000 feet, and I wanted to be closer to home since it's my first. I can hike it in 7 hours if I'm in shape. Did you know Mount Olympus in Greece is only about 9,500 feet?
Wow, that's cool. It seems so much larger than life, especially with the Greek gods living there.
I completely understand. When I went to Greece, it was smaller than I expected too.
Oh, really? Why?
I've heard about all the great stuff in Greece and expected it to be bigger. Its population is about 11 million, which is less than the population of Chicago and New York combined.
That's smaller when you compare the number of people, but what about its size?
That's smaller too. If you compare it to the United States in square miles, the U.S. is 75 times bigger.
That's huge.
Well, I'd still like to see Greece. Santorini looks cool. All that blue is wicked, especially since I love blue.
I have the blue.
I agree. When I went to see it, it was definitely worth it. I'll never forget it.
Okay, so is Mount Olympus in Utah anywhere near Salt Lake City? In class, we had to learn about the capital of Utah.
It's just west of Mount Olympus. It's a really nice view. Well, I know you guys didn't come in here to ask me about my trip. What's up? And did I hear you shouting like a 10 or something like that, or was that my imagination?
You did hear us yelling 10. We had a question for you.
We know you like the $100 bill because it's called a Benjamin, just like you.
It's all about the Benjamins.
But he was a cool inventor, and Ben Franklin wrote, there are only 2 things you can count on, death and taxes.
That doesn't sound fun.
I agree. Both of them don't seem like much fun. Sorry I interrupted. What were you saying, Mac?
So, why don't you like the $10 bill? We know you never carry one in your wallet.
That's just weird. You like money and the color green, but why not this one? Does it have to do with Hamilton?
It sure does.
But Dad, I thought you loved musicals. Wait, does this have anything to do with taxes? Lay it on me, Dad.
My boy Ben Franklin had it right. Death and taxes. But Hamilton, no matter how cool he is the one who started taxes in the United States.
Oh my
So
gosh.
he's the one to blame for your 2 months of pain each year?
I'm sorry, Dad. I never knew. He's dead to me.
Thanks, Mac. He has been dead for a long time, but he believed that the government and taxes go together like peas and carrots.
Like peas
He
and
actually
carrots.
said,
As to taxes, they are evidently inseparable from government.
So that means he really believed the government should tax people?
he sure did. That's why I don't carry one $10 bill. He supported a tax on whiskey of 25%,
We love
which led to
whiskey.
7,000 people marching on Pittsburgh. Hamilton and George Washington then sent 13,000 troops to stop it.
Hut, 2, 3,
What
4.
happened?
Did anyone get hurt?
Well, since there weren't any planes or cars back then, it took a couple months to get there, so the protesters were already gone. However, 2 people were convicted of high treason, and that's bad.
How bad?
Did they have to pay a fine?
Well, high treason is super bad. It's a death sentence. But George Washington pardoned them,
You are forgiven,
or
my son.
let them go. People were mad about the tax. It was also hard to collect, and so they stopped it.
People do like their whiskey. That's
Nope,
crazy.
nope, nope.
There's that death and taxes thing again.
Oh, Mac, that is funny. Good one.
So, Dad, what's the biggest tax out there? And did Hamilton start it?
The biggest is income tax, which is due April 15th. Anyway, Hamilton did not start it because he died in 1804, and that was before it was implemented in 1861.
Isn't that when the Civil War started?
It did. And do you remember that a big part of the history of taxes was to pay for war, right?
Yeah, so the income tax was used to pay for the Civil War?
It sure was. We pay throughout the year from our paycheck. After the year is over, we do a big calculation before April 15th. If we paid too much by our paycheck, we get a refund.
And what if you don't pay enough from your paycheck?
Then you have to send in money for the difference.
Ouch, I don't like that idea.
That's why a lot of people don't like it. But almost 3 out of 4 people get a refund.
That's cool.
But that means the government holds your money for you when you could be investing it, right?
Yep, excellent point, G.
Okay, so if on April 15th of 2019, you would have to complete your calculation of all the income for the prior year, that would be 12 months ending December 31st, 2018.
That's right. The extra time lets you work on the calculation.
And that's why you pull your hair out this time of year, because you do a whole bunch of calculations.
And maybe send in money?
Yep, not always a lot of fun for me.
What about the tax code? I've heard you talking about that during tax time. Does that also have something to do with your hair loss?
Yep, the tax code is something that Congress writes up to explain how to properly calculate your taxes. But it can be very confusing, as many taxes are.
I am so
Like how?
confused.
Well, let me use sales tax as an easy example. In Illinois, there is a tax on food of 1%. If it's candy, then you need to add another 5%.
Why the difference?
Well, you need food to live, and candy is considered a luxury. So they want to tax things you don't need.
Chocolate is not a luxury, Dad. It's a necessity. It's life in a wrapper.
Well, if your candy has flour in it, then it's considered food, which is taxed at 1%, just like bread has flour. A Kit Kat has flour, so 1%, just like Twizzlers. But a Snickers bar is 6% tax.
That does sound confusing. Seriously, a Twizzler is 1%? That's good with me. I do love me a Twizzler.
Trust me, G. It's way more confusing for income tax.
So, how long is the tax code for income tax anyway? How long does it take to explain it?
I'm assuming it's 20 pages?
Well, you both know how long the Bible is, right?
Really long. Maybe 1,000 pages. But why?
The tax code could never be that long.
Actually, the Bible is about 1,200 pages or around 800,000 words.
Wow, that's a lot.
So the tax code is way less than that.
Otherwise, no one would read it and understand it at the same time.
Funny enough, have you ever heard of Albert Einstein?
I am the very
Isn't he
smart
that
person.
super smart dude with the crazy white hair? I've heard Uncle Bryant say, "Nice one, Einstein."
Well, I think Uncle Bryant was actually trying to be funny and say you did something really stupid. Probably not so nice.
Didn't Einstein do something with E equals mc squared in the theory of relativity?
Yes, he did. Nice one, G. He is super smart. And he has a famous quote. He said, "The hardest thing in the world to understand is the tax code." Isn't that unbelievable?
Wait, one of the smartest guys of all time said it's difficult? That doesn't sound like it would be easy.
Yep, and you have to read lots of other documents to come close to understanding any of it.
So how long is the code?
Don't you dare ask that question.
I haven't read it all, and I don't want to. But it's over 2,000 pages and 1,000,000 words. But with all of the other stuff you have to read, it's easily tens of thousands of pages.
That's huge.
Okay, let me get this right. Congress writes thousands of pages of complicated rules that require tens of thousands of extra pages to explain it all.
Yep, and if you don't read a lot about the rules and explanations, and you help people calculate their taxes, you could go to jail.
What? Are you nuts? Why?
If you don't pay the right amount, you could get in trouble and go to jail. The government does want their taxes. It's rare, but if you don't lie or cheat, you're generally pretty safe.
So you have to be smart to understand it.
I am the very smart person.
I love that comment, G. More allowance for you, buddy. Isn't it nuts, though? That's only for income tax. There are many others, too, like sales, real estate, tariffs, payroll, and more.
Okay, we have some rules and explanations. So, who makes sure you do what the rules say?
Well, just like police make sure you don't break the laws where you live, there's a group of people in the government that make sure you do your taxes right. Do you know their name?
Isn't it the IRS?
Didn't you say once that it means the irritating revenue suckers?
Whoa! I guess I should probably be a little careful what I say out loud. You sure do have good ears, Mac. I know they have a job to do. It actually means the Internal Revenue Service.
So they watch to make sure you calculate your taxes correctly and pay the right amount on time?
That's exactly right, G. Nice job.
Dad, before we go, you've been talking about Tax Freedom Day. What is that?
Well, what does it sound like, guys?
Is it the day we get freedom from paying taxes?
Now that's an awesome guess, G, but it takes a little bit more to explain, so let's save it for next time. I have to get back to my...
Doing your mountain goat training? Bah, bah, bah.
Funny, guys, really funny. But I think it's time to go.
Bye!
Taxes have an interesting history, to say the least. They fund so many programs and initiatives as a nation. Who would have thought that Alexander Hamilton would be the father of taxes in the United States? I didn't until I looked into some of the history. And it's unusual that income tax, the biggest part of all the federal taxes, was originally set up to pay for the Civil War. Income taxes are clearly complicated, with thousands of pages of tax code and thousands more of explanations.
That's huge.
It's no wonder it can be stressful, and it takes time and effort to get through it. It's not always clear. That's why you normally have 3.5 months after the end of the year to put together all your paperwork and calculate your tax to make sure you include all your income. The coronavirus has affected all of us, and it has even affected how we pay taxes. Ever since 1955, when April 15th became the due date for personal taxes, we've never seen a change in that due date unless it fell on a weekend. However, in 2020, the government has delayed it, and the government wants people to pay the taxes owed as soon as possible. By giving an extra 3 months with a new due date of July 15th, 2020, this is monumental. It's unheard of and never happened before. In addition, the IRS has stopped almost all face-to-face meetings, and they have cut many other services. I tried calling about a tax issue just last week, and the recording said no one was available. I can only guess it was due to Corona. I really hope that you're starting to appreciate that taxes are a bit more interesting than you would have thought. I never knew George Washington and Alexander Hamilton sent 13,000 troops to break up a potential issue based on a whiskey tax. Did you? If you get a chance to adjust your withholding, don't forget to make sure that you're only paying in the amount you should owe at tax time, because you can invest the difference. Well, thanks for being here. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share us with your friends and family.